Is there a reason behind the things we do each day, or are we just feeling tiny? Most of us go through life with this question, searching for something that makes everything make sense. In Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl quotes Nietzsche in an attempt to answer this question. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. But what if finding that why is not a single sudden revelation? What if purpose isn't about one grand answer, but a series of small, honest realizations that add up over time? Let's take a closer look at 5 myths we all heard about purpose and the quiet truth that might just lead us to something real. Let's start with this idea that purpose is a single true calling, that everyone has just one big thing they're meant to do in life. It's a comforting thought, right? But it also creates a lot of pressure. What if you haven't found that one thing yet? Does purpose have to be just one big calling? Think of someone like Leonardo da Vinci. He was a painter, but he was also an inventor, a scientist, a writer, a sculptor, you name it. His purpose was not one thing, it was a compilation of everything he explored. His life shows us that having multiple passions isn't a distraction from finding meaning. It can be the foundation of it. Here's something you can try. Make a short list of the top 3 things you feel interested in. Don't worry if they seem unrelated. Think of each one as part of your purpose portfolio. Once you have your list, ask yourself, how can I nurture each of these interests even just a little? Maybe it's taking a weekend course or setting aside time to practice or connecting with others who share the same interest. These small steps keep each interest alive, allowing the underlying purpose to grow and reveal itself to you. If purpose is not just one true calling, maybe it doesn't need to hit all at once either. You know that idea of the big Eureka moment? Like one day, you're just walking along and suddenly, bam, you know exactly what you're meant to do in life. It's tempting to think purpose will show up in one big clear revelation, but life doesn't usually work that way. Most of us don't discover our purpose in one big aha moment. It's more like a series of smaller realizations. A hobby that gives you spark, a project that lights you up, or a moment that feels strangely fulfilling. But over time, these little things add up, showing you what really matters. Purpose often pieces itself together from tiny sparks rather than arriving all at once. Keep a micro Eureka journal. Every day or two, just jot down anything that genuinely keeps you interested or engages you, even if it's just for a moment. After a few weeks, review your notes. You may notice patterns, types of experiences, or conversations that bring you alive. It's a simple habit, but over time, it can reveal a direction that feels right, built from those small moments of clarity. Purpose doesn't have to come in one cinematic moment. It can show up along the way in tiny moments that pull you forward. Then there is this other idea that purpose and career have to be one same thing. It's like we're taught that landing the right job will unlock life's meaning, as if purpose was just sitting there in a work email. But let's be honest, most jobs don't check every box of who we are. Some of the things that bring the deepest sense of purpose have nothing to do with the job title. It could be the time you spend helping friends, creating something meaningful, or just being there for people you care about. Purpose doesn't have to live in a job description. It can show up in all the places that make you feel alive and connected. Here's a question to think about. Where in your life do you feel most purpose that has nothing to do with your job? Reflecting on this question can help you broaden your sense of meaning, reminding you that purpose can be a blend of all the roles you play, not just one with a paycheck. Look, I'm not saying this is your case, but a lot of people struggle with finding purpose because they think it has to be something others notice or praise. It's a feeling that for your life to mean something, it needs to be big. visible, impressive. And who doesn't want a little recognition, right? But what if purpose doesn't need an audience to be real? Think about Vincent van Gogh. Today, he's one of the most celebrated artists of all time, but in his own life, he sold one painting, just one. But he kept painting anyway. For him, purpose wasn't about impressing others. It was something he felt connected to, something that mattered. If purpose didn't need an audience for Van Gogh, maybe it doesn't need one for us either. When we think our purpose is to impress others, we risk choosing paths that aren't even ours. Maybe we pick a career that sounds good or set goals for approval. In the end, we're left feeling disconnected, chasing what looks right instead of what feels right. Finally, let's talk about the idea that purpose is some kind of fixed destination. Like once you find it, you're set. As if purpose is this ultimate finish line where everything just falls into place. But what if purpose isn't about reaching a single point? What if it's more like the journey itself? Purpose is something that grows and changes with you. Maybe you've been really into one thing for a while, and then something else comes along and feels meaningful. That doesn't mean you lost your purpose. Think of purpose like a river that winds through different landscapes. Some stretches are calm, some are rocky, and sometimes they twist in ways you didn't expect, but it keeps flowing. That's how purpose works too. It can change shape and direction, but it's still there, evolving with you. Isn't it better to think that you can find purpose in so many different experiences and live a full and rich life rather than do only one thing? So maybe purpose isn't a lightning bolt or a single path. It's not something we find once and hold on to forever. If we let go of the myths and start noticing those quiet truths, purpose becomes less about a final answer and more about a journey. So as you move forward, remember, your purpose doesn't need to be grand or perfect. It just needs to be real and yours.